All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have some semblance of what's been going on lately with these games disappearing from exclusivity with PlayStation, especially on the third-party side. I think even right now, you can already tell that PlayStation is making moves to always benefit itself. Nothing wrong with that at the end of the day, but the consumer is the one that is in some cases concerned. I've seen PlayStation fans, even they themselves are not too much of big fans of this Kotokawa merger because of the anime side. But this video is actually going to point out to the developers and the game for Shenmue. So Shenmue 3, basically. So publishing for Shenmue 3 transfers to IN Games, previously Deep Silver. Now, this reads, November 19th, IN Games, or I don't know how you say it, and YSNet announces that publishing for Shenmue will officially transfer to IN Games as of today. Following the previous collaboration on Air Twister, this would deepen a relationship between IN Games and YSNet. Known for the commitment to celebrate beloved titles, IN Games is excited to shepherd Shenmue 3 into its next phase. I wonder what that could be. This collaboration marks the beginning of a new chapter for Shenmue 3, with IN Games working closely alongside YSNet to honor the series' legacy while ensuring its accessibility to even more fans around the world. So, apparently, it seems like there is some semblance of this game going to its next phase. And you all know what the next phase of these, timed exclusives are, right? It's Xbox. That's usually the next phase for them. They're like, oh, yeah, we've enjoyed and we've stayed, in this lack of sales portal that we've been hanging in because, we decided that we were going to sign an exclusivity deal of some sort. And we're going to basically now make our way to Xbox. I remember that the game also, when it came, let me check Steam, because I remember that this game was an Epic Games exclusive. It could also be that that's the case, right? Shenmue 3, okay. It eventually made its way to Steam in 2020. Interesting. And I remember it launched on Epic Games Store. Let me go ahead and check that as well, just to be sure that, I'm not mixing my timelines up. So Shenmue 3, yep. So there we go. The game did show up on the Epic Games Store. When did it even show up on Epic Games Store? I know it showed up in 2020 on Steam, which I just took a look at. The base game, which showed up on Epic Games Store first, if I'm correct, as a timed exclusive, was one that was very interesting. Yeah, it came out November 2019 on the Epic Games Store as a timed exclusive. Then it went to Steam later on, about a year later. So it was 1 year exclusivity in that regard. It also was revealed on, was launched on other platforms at the time as well. If you look here on Wikipedia, in 2019, it went to PlayStation 4. It was on Microsoft Windows, I guess via, Epic Games. That's how they put it. And the developers, basically I think they were former Sega employees or whatever it is, pretty much were putting it on the PlayStation platform as an exclusive game. Now, here's the thing with these exclusive games and, a lot of these deals that have been signed. A lot of developers, they get the opportunity to make a game. Perhaps PlayStation put some money. Perhaps Epic Games put some money down, right? But again, it really was, in my opinion, probably a short-sighted play because now, guess what? They're going into the place where they want to go ahead now and, try to make some more money because if we actually go ahead and get a sense of, okay, how much this game sold, I remember that there were conversations at the time. The game actually went through Kickstarter, and around Kickstarter, it sold about, 70-ish million copies or so. And then when some of the numbers were gotten later, the game sold around 100-ish thousand copies. Now, maybe it would have sold more, but it doesn't seem like the game itself really did pop off as much as it would. I mean, already you've isolated a segment of the gaming market, and so that segment of the gaming market, are they going to be able to come through for you? And the game is now probably sitting. It's not bringing in a lot of sales. There's a segment of the market that has consoles that can support the game. I can see how it can make sense for a lot of these creators to go ahead and start getting their games back. So again, this game has not been confirmed to show up on Xbox, but it seems to me like it's a logical step for where the game is going to go. It could be Nintendo Switch. They could be making a Switch port, but it still lends credence to the fact that every game and every third-party game makes big sense for them to be able to get the game to other places and make them as available as possible. In fact, PlayStation is showing the way for this. PlayStation is literally saying, hey, man, every single person, get your games to as much platforms as you possibly can because you're going to need it. Because PlayStation themselves, they also need it. I mean, if you kind of think about their Lego Horizon game that launched day one, and if you think about all their live service games that are launching day one on other platforms, and even now them shortening, say, even their tentpole exclusives, that would probably, in my opinion, start reaching the 6-month mark. Yeah, depending on how things go in the industry, you can already tell that they're signaling and they're teaching the developers exactly what to do to stay sustainable. I mean, if you think about the Lego Horizon game right now, I can even tell you how much the quietness has been around this title. It's like it didn't even launch. It's weird, right? This is very, very strange. If you think about the reviews and think about how people are, some people love the game, but again, they isolated the PlayStation 4 just to basically come out to PC and say we want to get, freaking MAUs. It's so weird at the end of the day. But again, I'm sure other developers are seeing this, right? They're saying to themselves, okay. And then Ilphonic used to have a game on here. It was Predator Hunting Grounds. They purchased the license from PlayStation, and now they have the game on Xbox. I mean, the industry is shifting so much. It's easier for you to go back and find a way to get your game back and put on Xbox than it will take you for another 4 years to make another video game, because no one's going to really want to come give you money right now. PlayStation is in a place where they're trying to acquire, Sony's about to acquire Kurokawa. So I don't think they're looking at these, exclusive deals as something that's worthwhile for them. They kind of got the biggest one, which was Wukong, and they got Stellar Blade. But seeing other developers say, nah, we're going to compete on our own, and we're going to publish on our own, in my opinion, is actually quite refreshing right now for the industry. That way, one person or one nexus is not controlling the flow of games that don't belong to them. Let them focus on their games. This is the best thing for PlayStation to do at the moment because, again, it gives the PlayStation user access to those games that they probably are looking for within the PlayStation ecosystem, and Sony can invest in that with ease. Talk to me in the comment section. What do you think so far? I really appreciate you guys' time and audience. Let me hear your thoughts, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.